now we're at the conclusion of our show, and I know this is Fox personal health and wellness experience, so I think we did cover a few topics in personal health and wellness. But we're with two other people who have their input. I'm just wondering, what do you guys do in your lifestyle? Like, what's your personal health and wellness personally like now?
Well, I think that I try to make sure I get enough sleep. I think I do get 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah,
Occasionally, if I have an early morning shoot or I'm working a trade show where I have to be up at 4 in the morning, the way I did last week, then that changes it a bit. But basically, I try to get 8 hours of sleep. And then, as I mentioned, go to my gym 4 times a week for dance classes, go walking, go
wow,
dancing on weekends. And I just be as active as I can because I have a lot of energy and I love to get out there and do things.
cool.
And I think that that helps keep me mentally sane too. And,
Yeah, it does.
reading articles and books that are helpful to me. If something's on my mind, I will usually read about it and see what I can learn about it.
Like
So,
news or
oh, I'm thinking more like self-help books or self-help
oh,
articles. If there's like any kind of medical
because
concern I might have, I'll read
news
about that.
news articles help me because I get
Yeah.
to see like explore the world, like we were talking about earlier. Get to explore the world, see what it's like out there. Hopefully it's good news, but Nathan, I'm wondering what the lifestyle of a YouTube producer is or a YouTube influencer. How do you define yourself now?
Yeah, how do I put this? Well,
Day in the life.
uh, I'm probably one of the healthiest people I know. My lifestyle is actually very centered around just living consciously and living as healthy as I can. So I find it like rare to find someone more like, I guess, health conscious than me, where I eat, only natural foods. I can get into my diet and talk about that for a while if you're curious. Yeah, my sleep routine is very, regimented. I make sure I sleep very well. My exercise and like mobility routine is also pretty dialed in. So, I mean, I try and have all my bases covered in this area. And
Right.
it also really has to do with being neurodivergent. It's kind of part of me taking
You have to do that, right?
self-responsibility. Sorry?
You have to do that, right?
Yeah, it's part of
So
taking
don't. Yeah.
it's kind of like part of like who I am. Because I am quite like a sensitive person.
Mm.
And so, if I eat the wrong food, for example, I eat like fried chicken, that food will create quite a bit of inflammation and, be kind of hard for
Oh, I've
the
seen research
for
on
the
that.
body
Yeah.
to digest. And what that ends up doing is it makes me more emotional and less mentally focused. And I end up, while the fried chicken was very pleasurable to eat, the next hours of the day, even sometimes the next day, I just feel this, like my body's still recovering from it. And I feel much worse. So for me, all those like experiences like that have just made me become aware that I just really need to dial in on my health. Like it's part of my self responsibility. So, I mean, we're kind of wherever you're curious or whatever specific part of my life you're curious about, I probably have, something I'm doing that's, a
making
healthy
it making it
choice.
more healthy, a healthy
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
So we did talk with quite a few people today in our from my podcast. So I don't really identify with an influencer. I like to think of myself as a thought leader. I'm even on LinkedIn, and so I do a lot of commenting and talking and reading on there about like what's going on in like the tech world. But today we had Michelle Dickinson, with us, and she was talking for her part on my podcast. And we had Trevor Alexander. He was also on the podcast, Nick Luisi and Benji Shearer and Mr. J. So that's 5 people we talked with. Which one was your favorite?
I would have to say they were all very good. I really
Okay.
couldn't pick a favorite. Maybe the first one, I don't remember what the lady's name was, but she talked about some things I could really resonate with in the beginning.
What about you, Nathan?
Yeah. I forgot the name, the guy who was talking about the religion.
Oh, Nick.
Oh,
Nick.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, it's good.
I found, I found all of them great, but if I just had
Mhm.
to pick one, I thought when Nick said he touched on something important and something that isn't talked about enough in these days.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on but like you said earlier, it's like the Bay Area. Yeah, doesn't happen. Don't have many conversations like that in the Bay Area, that's for sure. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's good that we have these things like YouTube, so we can expand our minds. We can search for these things, maybe not be in such of an echo chamber. And that helps with our lifestyle and leisure, really, because we can explore, find what really makes our life go the way we want it to, or
Mm-hmm.
we need it to, want and need. And we find those things and we can actually do them, and maybe even start a business. You find a squishy hand toy that you like collecting, you can start collecting them and sell them on eBay. There's so many opportunities these days with the internet.
One thing that came to mind when you were speaking was, I guess, a part of health that I guess hasn't exactly been covered, is digital health. So just really changing your relationship to technology and screens. And this is really important to have. These are really important conversations to have in the modern day, because now more than ever, our time on phones and on devices is just increasing. And I think personally for yeah,
Yeah.
and personally for me, I think the reason why there's such a mental health crisis nowadays is precisely because of screen time and digital media consumption. I mean, if you actually look at the correlation between mental health diagnoses and amount of daily screen time, the two were almost exactly coordinated. And then what I also found interesting was that the moment that the infinite scrolling feature was introduced into like apps and social media websites, people consume things much faster from then on. And then you actually see that the amount of mental health diagnoses increases, like it just spikes upward.
Yeah,
So
speaking of news articles, they just they're at least current events. I try to stay out of current events on my shows, but this is a good one that I think was coming for a long time, which is that someone finally won a case against I think was it Twitter or YouTube?
Facebook, I believe.
Facebook, yeah, against Facebook for digital for that exact subject, like being too addictive. So that's amazing. So
Really? It's
yeah.
interesting how they can win a case against that, though, if a person chooses to get on Facebook all day.
Yeah, well, it took some doing. I'm sure they spent a lot of money to
Yeah.
win that case.
Well, the reason that they actually were able to win the case was because, and this is like quite informative, is because there's actually proof that the social media companies were intentionally making their social media apps addictive and intentionally targeting, um, yeah, young minds, and just finding ways to reel them in and keep them on the website and keep them exposed to things that we're just gonna make them addicted to the app. And so yeah, I actually, so like I understand it's like, yeah, it's their responsibility, but on the other hand, like what they market it as versus what it actually is behind, the code is much different. So you have to be really careful with just all these digital media sites.
Yeah, I think we would all be a lot more mentally healthy if we would stay off of a lot of social media sites, stay off of apps. I hate phone apps. I only use a few that I have to for some agencies I'm connected with. But as far as downloading an app for this and, use an app for McDonald's, use an app for that, that's more screen time. I don't want to be looking at a phone 24 hours a day.
I actually do that.
Talk to a person, and I want to order and I want to see people and see life. I hate the apps, and I think that less technology at this point would be better for people to start forming different hobbies that have nothing to do with it and don't involve it at all. Reading, playing football, baseball, joining gyms, different dance classes, skating, anything else like that would be a lot healthier.
Yeah.
And the body.
Yeah. And I agree. I actually have made it kind of, I'm very intentional about how many apps are on my phone.
Yeah.
And so if an app doesn't have to be there, it can go. Like it's more time that I'm spending on the screen.
Right.
Even like a social media app. If I really need to check Facebook or something, you can do that online as well. Like you don't have to have it on your phone so that you just like automatically go to it.
I disabled it on my phone. If I'm going to get on Facebook, it's going to be while I'm at home on my computer. I have something to post or I want to check messages, then try to get off of it. I don't want it on my phone dinging all day, telling me when there's comments or somebody posted this and that. I couldn't handle that.
Yeah, the notifications, those are always...
Yes, those can drive you crazy.
But what happened to telephone ringtones?
Oh, I mean, calling and texting for me is great. I mean, that's actually like, that's where the phone has like the best utility. You know, I'm not anti-technology or anti-phones.
Right.
Because I think, texting and calling people has actually been great for humanity. You know, it's made people more connected. It's increased safety and all these different things.
911 on your phone.
There you go. Yeah. But then when it comes to like non-essential things, I mean, there's so many non-essential apps out there that I guess I think we're kind of misled to believe that we need them.
Yeah.
But it's just pure entertainment
We
sometimes.
don't, just we survived for years without them. You know? We can go in the mall and we can shop and buy things. We don't need to do it online. We can drive through somewhere and we can order with a person. We don't need to use an app for that. It just gets ridiculous. It's as though they want everybody to be robots and not be humans anymore.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what that case we were talking about was about, and we're probably going to see more people, more companies getting, maybe losing their case against because of this one case. Once they have the precedent for that, they've developed a precedent for it. They call it. Then anybody who fits in that precedent can also get the same whatever loot. Probably they just got lost like a couple $1 billion and had to pay, but there's probably some changes that will come across. So we'll have to wait and see. But so I wanted to thank you both for being with us. Those are all valid. That's so cool that you guys were here today and helping us with the personal health and wellness experience. I invite you back next year if you'd like. Next year we're going to be talking about remote work. So this is Rotimi, aka Rodopemu, signing off from PHAWX Personal Health and Wellness Experience. And we also had Judy with us. She's an actress.
Yes, and if you'd like to see some good movies, if you happen to watch Amazon Prime, there are some movies I'm in that are on there, such as The Ghost of Annie V, River of Ghosts, and Taking Liberty right now. And if you watch Tubi TV, you can find me in the horror movie Inhumane, and I have other movies coming out that will be released. And if you like to watch YouTube movies, I put a lot of short films that have already made the rounds in film festivals on my YouTube channel, which is under Judy Serva.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. And thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And we also have Nathan with us, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his cool. What do you identify? YouTuber?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Transcending Autism, and on the channel I have a podcast called the Transcending Neurodiversity podcast. And on this channel, I pretty much speak on a variety of topics, growing up with an autism diagnosis, as well as just the general topic of how to navigate the world as a neurodivergent person. And so I love to speak on those things. And I'm also a coach, a health and wellness coach. So yeah, I'm taking clients, but yeah, I think the links will be in the description.
Yes,
could we do that?
Check out the links in the description, as well as on the website. The website is www.phawx.com. That's www.PHAWX.com. So we'll be seeing you later next year, hopefully, or check me out on my podcast, www.unmotive.com. We'll see you guys later.